Well, I'm delighted today to be speaking to Hugh McCormick, who's the founder of Copperfield International School in Verbier. Welcome, Hugh.
Thank you very much.
So you're part of our networking dinner here tonight in Zurich. It'd be great to introduce you to some of our community later on over dinner. But in this interview, we're going to talk a little bit about yourself and then also find out more about Copperfield International School. So just to kick off, perhaps you could introduce yourself, what you do at Copperfield School.
Sure. So I founded Copperfield in 2020 during the pandemic. It's a K-12 international school. It's a ski-in, ski-out school, and in fact, it's the only ski-in, ski-out school in the world, we believe, in the ski resort of Verbier in Switzerland at an altitude of about 1,500 meters.
Does that give a different flavour to the PE lessons that the children might do then? Is it
a
sort of active life type school?
It is, exactly. So we have an international baccalaureate license and a Cambridge examinations license. So we can do IGCSEs, A-levels and the IB diploma. The idea is that we're a high quality academic school in a unique, breathtaking outdoor environment.
Is it a large campus? I mean, give us a sense of the footprint of the school.
Yes, so we have 14 classrooms and we are sort of based around a courtyard and a basketball court and tennis courts, all of which are at this very high altitude. It's a pedestrian-only campus with an underground car park, which gives access to the school. So the children, even within Verbier, they are very safe. And Verbier itself is one of the safest places you can imagine. So there's a sort of pitch that I think of for families that they can send their children somewhere that's cleaner and safer than just about anywhere they can imagine. The children, as a result, have a freedom that's unparalleled compared to many places, and we can give children more freedom than many schools because of the safety that the village gives us, both in its geographical kind of a natural bowl that protects us from outsiders, passers-by, but also in the culture, where the Swiss culture is one of safety, respect, and neighbourliness of people looking out for each other.
And for those less familiar with Swiss geography, I mean, where's Verbier within Switzerland? How do people access it?
Sure, it's about 90 minutes from Geneva, 2 hours from Geneva by car. It's got excellent rail links, 3 hours from Zurich, 3 hours from Milan. So you can access really the whole of Europe, continental Europe, by car. You can go to Rome in 7 hours and Paris in 6 hours. So, you know, this is a pretty exciting location, and we have some amazing weekend trips. It's in French-speaking southwest Switzerland, and it's in Canton Valais, and that's known as a very outdoorsy type place. It's got some wonderful places of natural beauty.
The scenery is breathtaking,
isn't
it?
It really is, yeah.
And you draw, your school is made up of pupils from all around the world, from a mixture of countries. I mean, perhaps give us a sense of how the demography breaks down.
So we have over 30 nationalities. It's a very long tail of a distribution of nationalities. So there aren't concentrations.
Which is a concern, isn't it, for parents?
Right. A question I get asked a lot about is this a British school? And in fact, no, it really isn't. British students are less than 10% of the headcount. Our biggest concentration is Scandinavian families, Swedish families. And I think that speaks to our heterogeneity and our multicultural internationalism.
And there's been a lot of development at the school. You've got big plans for the future. I mean, perhaps you could just sort of sketch out what you see coming down the line at Copperfield. Yeah,
so we just, this year, we have opened our large boarding facility. It's actually a 4-star hotel. So rather than do a normal boarding facility, like in all that we do, we want to do things to an absolutely highest possible quality. With our boarding facility, we wanted to do it differently to other schools. So every room is the room of a 4-star hotel because we rented a 4-star hotel for a very long period. So when you live in our school, you would have a balcony, your own bathroom, your own bedroom.
It's not an old dormitory, is it?
It's not. And so when you think about boarding, boarding at Copperfield doesn't mean boarding in a large 12 kids shared environment with shared showers, things like that of the past. It means living as if you were living at home. And so it really won't be that different to what you're used to in your own home, your own room, and usually with the kind of families that join our school, your own bathroom, your own area, your own sofa.
And what sort of age range then might children come to board with you?
So boarding starts at 11 and finishes at the end of the senior school, so when you graduate and go to university. And that can be between 17 and 19 years old. In sort of, for example, some continental European cultures, the students stay in education a bit longer, so we could have 19-year-olds. So 11 to 19.
And I suppose those boarding facilities, obviously, for the long, although you have an international mix, it gives you the potential to really appeal and be more global, doesn't it, with your student base?
That's right, and that's what I'd really love to do. We would love to be a United Nations of schools.
Yeah.
The aim, if you think about our current student population, it's really Western European.
Yeah.
And I think that's wonderful. It's what most schools would kill for. And we're now looking to add diversity even further across all the inhabited continents. We'd love to get small numbers of students from every country, frankly. We want to stay a small school, so the aim is to reach a size of about 200 students. And we're going to be, as of January, around 100 students. So we're halfway already after just 3 years.
Well, that's some growth, isn't it?
It's been a great journey, yeah.
So just on the academic side then, I mean, in terms of the syllabus that these students would study, perhaps you could give us a bit more of a sense of that.
Absolutely. So for the boarding students, aged 11, they'll begin their Cambridge IGCSE programme. So that would be year 7 in our system, the 7th year of education. And from year 7 to year 9, they'll have a very broad exposure to a large number of subjects and a rich language programme where they'll learn at least 2 foreign languages. The school's instruction's in English, then they will be encouraged to take French or German, and then a 3rd language they'll be encouraged to take.
Which in Switzerland seems very natural as well, doesn't it? Because it's a multilingual
That's right.
setting.
And in particular in our international culture within Switzerland, 2 things that we've built from the start. The first is a multilingual faculty. Our faculty speak an average of 3 languages per person, which is really quite amazing if you think about it. But I've always recruited people who are multilingual. I've aimed to recruit multilingual staff from the very beginning. And again, I had an opportunity that many head teachers would envy, which was to start with a blank canvas and a fresh team sheet. So most of our language tuition, you would find, I think, a very high quality of tuition compared to what one might be used to, because we were able to build this very diverse, linguistically skilled faculty. And then within our student body as well, if you wandered around our school visiting, you would hear our students talking many different languages and moving between languages seamlessly with each other. So children in our school end up getting this immersive exposure to not just to different languages, but to the idea and the way of life of multilinguistic living. And I think that's really powerful. And it's one thing that I think for the future will be a critical skill, is the human communication element as machines replace a lot of our previous work. We also believe in a very diverse element of humanities and sciences, so the children will be exposed in those ages to the full gamut of natural science disciplines and humanities subjects, and obviously they have a big outdoors experience, so big sports sessions. In the winter, that means skiing, for boarders as many as 5 times a week, 5 half days a week. And for the summer or the non-skiing period, we've got amazing facilities in cycling, tennis, golf, horse riding, swimming, running, basketball. You really name it. The region has incredible opportunities, but we've also built fantastic facilities in these other areas and have the staff to match it.
And obviously the school hasn't really had many students go through its full life cycle, but what's the aspiration of the destinations for these children? Is it the Ivy League universities, UK universities, Swiss universities, and on to careers? I mean, how do you discuss it with parents where the students want to go?
Well, so from my background, I started as a university teacher at Oxford University. So I taught undergrads at Oxford while I was doing my PhD. I would get asked the same question by people back then of basically, how do I get into Oxford? And I would say, are you sure Oxford's right for you? You know, you want to be happy while you do well. You don't want to be happy after you do well. Life is a journey and not just getting somewhere and then being happy. I think that's an illusory goal. And I actually think that high net worth families really understand this very well, that they want their child to feel fulfilled, and that if they feel fulfilled, they'll work harder and they'll be more likely to be successful in whatever they choose. So If you look at our faculty, we have a very large number of faculty who've graduated from Oxford, Cambridge, from top universities all over the world. And I think that speaks to our ambition for our students. That students who come to us, they will find that the academic horsepower of the staff room matches just about anything the students can throw at us. You know, our staff room is a Lamborghini academically, and it can go as fast as any of the students want it to. But within that, we're a powerhouse, not a hothouse. We don't want students to go off the boil or to overcook by placing too much pressure on them, or by leaving them idle. So there's a happy mid-range there. It would be great if students go to Oxford and Cambridge. We've got the skills to get them there, but we're not going to be shoving academic pressure down the throats of our students. We're going to help them flourish by helping them choose and curate carefully their goals, goals that stretch them but don't panic them.
And what's the admissions process like?
We're a small school, and so our admissions process is highly professional and streamlined. And so it's very personal. We want the people that will be teaching the child to get in front of the child early, to meet them during the admissions process, and for the child to feel that same connection the other way. So we know the person before they ever get there. Our class sizes average at about 7 students per class. So we're somewhere between private tutoring, which is quite lonely but efficient, and a normal school of 15 or 20 students, which often students can get left in the middle or at either end of a lesson and not have enough focus from the teacher. Our admissions process reflects that, where we want to get to know who we will be teaching and looking after. It can be done very quickly. We're talking days, not weeks, if the family wants to. So the family is usually the rate limiting step on the admissions
It's
process.
not a huge volume of applications, is it? Because it's a specialised offering.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want a huge volume of applications. We believe that we're the best in the world at what we offer, which is this unique combination of safety, breathtaking location, cracking curriculum and faculty, and unparalleled outdoor offering.
And you're joining our networking dinner tonight with professionals from private banks here in Zurich, and legal and tax advisors and other professionals sitting around high net worth private clients, where education, if they have children, is often very high up on the list. Do you often work with professionals who can, just to lay out what Copperfield could be for their children and just see the fit? Yes,
so our clientele tend to be a mixture of the people who own businesses or the people who run them. So successful entrepreneurs, basically. We work a lot both with intermediaries who are introducing us to families, and also directly with the families themselves, whether they are themselves working professionals who are successful in their own right, or whether they're people who have owned a business and who have divested and now are benefiting from the services of those professionals.
And because Verbier itself is quite a place, isn't it? So how long have you lived in Verbier as a sort of location?
I moved there about 8 weeks before the school opened.
Okay.
So just almost coming up to 3 years now, yeah.
Well, Hugh, it's been fantastic to talk to you today. Really look forward to sharing this interview and chatting with you tonight at the dinner.
I'm really grateful for your time and the opportunity. Thank you.
The latest technical content delivered through global conversations with professionals for professionals.